Chapter 6. The city glowed like a living thing that night. Horns echoing off glass, street lights painting everything in gold and shadow. Ebony returned to Black's apartment, parking her Benz CLA 250 in the garage beneath the high-rise condo that overlooked downtown Brooklyn. Her arms were full of shopping bags when she stepped inside, the faint smell of his cologne already filling the air. Black turned from the kitchen counter, eyes locking in the pile of Target home goods and Sephora bags in her hands. "Damn, E," he said, smirking. "We moving to Atlanta or opening a store in here?" Ebony grinned, dropping the bags near the couch. "I just picked up a few things for the new apartment," she said. "You know, little stuff, so it feels like home." "They got Targets in Atlanta too, you know," Black teased, raising an eyebrow. "Yeah, but I don't want to start over with nothing," she replied, walking over and wrapping her arms around his neck. He laughed, that soft kind of laugh that came from deep inside, the one he only gave her. "You was with Shatasia and Pretty, huh? Y'all love y'all some shopping trips." Ebony smiled. "Guilty." Black's face grew thoughtful for a second. "Everything straight with the properties, though," he said. "Your cafe spot and a salon for Shatasia, signed, sealed, and locked in. My real estate guy handled that today." Ebony froze, eyes wide, disbelief mixed with joy. "You serious?" "Dead serious," he said, smiling. "It's all ready. You just got to show up." She let out a joyful squeal, jumped into his arms, and kissed him hard. He caught her midair, spinning her around before their laughter gave way to something quieter, something electric. That night they made love, not rush, not wild, but deep and slow, like two people who knew change was close and wanted to hold on to the now. Across town, Diamond and Bag sat parked at the McDonald's on Fulton and Troop, a notorious Friday night hangout where shiny cars and street dreams came to flex. The parking lot was alive. Girls in designer clothes, gangsters leaning on hoods, music bumping from open car doors. Diamond and Bags wearing Bags BMW X5, windows cracked, smoke curling out. Bags passed a spliff, grinning through the haze. "Yo, we gotta be smart with this bread," Bags said, eyes scanning the lot. "We can't be out here wilding. Whoever we took that 500 from, shit, they dangerous." Diamond nodded slowly. Nah, that's facts. That's facts. You don't just lose a $500,000 and just shrug it off. So yeah, we gonna move quiet, stash the money, no flash." Bag's stomach growled and he laughed. "All right, roll another one, man. I'm gonna go in there and grab some food real quick." He hopped out, brushing past a group of women and making his way through the crowded lot toward the Golden Arches. Diamond reclined in the driver's seat, rolling another spliff while flirting with a woman who walked up to the window. Slim waist, long hair, heavy West Indian accent. He smiled, distracted. That's when the black Infiniti slid to a stop in front of the BMW, headlights glaring. He barely had time to process the movement. Two men in black Nike tech suits, black Uptowns, and black Nike balaclavas sprinting toward the SUV. The glint of Mac 11s caught the light, silencers attached, muzzles rising. The first shots whispered through the chaos, soft, deadly puffs. Then came the burst. The women screamed as bullets shattered glass, thudding into metal and flesh. Diamond jerked violently, split falling from his fingers. The BMW windows exploded. The men in the Infiniti opened fire too, the night filling with muffled thunder. By the time Bags ran out of the restaurant, the parking lot was pure panic. People ducking, cars peeling off, bodies dropping. He froze seeing the BMW riddled with holes, smoking, smoke curling from his hood. The woman lay slumped against the car, Diamond still inside, motionless. Bags felt his stomach twist. Then instinct took over. He turned and bolted, sprinting toward the street, heart pounding. A familiar voice called his name. A woman he knew from the block parked across the street. He jumped into her car, and they sped off, tires screeching as sirens wailed in the distance. Back downtown, Black and Ebony lay tangled on the couch, a movie flickering. The city lights bled through the window. painting the room in quiet warmth. Atlanta gonna be good for us, Ebony whispered, tracing her finger along his arm. It's already good, Black said softly. We just gotta get there. His phone buzzed on the table. Bags. He ignored it, not wanting to break the peace. A second later, it buzzed again. Same name. Black frowned, grabbed the phone. You're. On the other end, Bag's voice was hysterical, ragged. Black. Yo, Black. Yo, they got Diamond, bro. They got him, they. Yo, slow down, slow down. Black cut in, sitting up. What you talking about? Yo, the spot on Fulton, bro. Yo, niggas came out of nowhere. Max, yo, they lit the car up, bro. Diamond gone. Black jaw locked, room shrinking around him. Where you at? Outside your building. I couldn't go nowhere else. Black was already on his feet. Stay right there. He threw on some sweats, a hoodie, grabbed his keys, and took the elevator down. Bag stood near the building's entrance, wide-eyed and shaking, still catching his breath. The wild look in his eyes said everything. Yo, that's payback, bro, Bag said, voice breaking. Gotta be for that 500K. They came too clean, bro. Too fast. Black didn't speak for a long moment. Then he reached into his pocket, pulled out a key. Yo, take this. It's for the stash crib. Go there. Lay low. Don't call nobody. Don't move sloppy. I'll come through in the morning. Bags nodded, still trembling. What you gonna do? Handle what I need to handle, Black said. But go. Go now. Bags disappeared into the night, and Black stood there, watching the tail lights fade until the silence felt like static. When he got back upstairs, Ebony was sitting on the couch, eyes searching his face. Everything okay, babe? She asked softly. He forced a calm smile. Yeah, just Bags tripping, nothing crazy. But as he sat beside her, his mind was spinning. Faces, gunfire, the weight of the world that he'd been ready to leave. Ebony rested her head on his chest, eyes half closed, and he wrapped an arm around her, pretending his heart wasn't pounding. On screen, the movie kept playing, laughter and light. But Ebony's intuition burned. She could feel it in her gut. Something was wrong. Chapter 7. The morning sun bust through Black's windows. Black opened his eyes, silent for a moment, listening to the distant buzz of the city below. Beside him, Ebony slept soundly, her skin the color of mahogany under the sunlight, her breath slow and peaceful. He stood there for a moment, just watching her, memorizing her face like he might not get to see it again. He leaned down, pressed a gentle kiss to her forehead. I'll be back later, baby, he whispered. Then he slid on his jeans, tucked his FN pistol into his waistband, grabbed his keys and headed out. The drive to Queens was quiet. Brooklyn faded behind him as the morning rush began to build. He cut through traffic until he reached Guy Arbor Boulevard. Pulling off of the boulevard, pulling up to a modest two-story house that looked more like a family home than a stash spot. Inside, the stash house was spotless. Polished floors, framed pictures on the wall, even a candle burning on the counter. You'd never know how much dirty money had passed through those walls. Bags was sitting at the table, half-eaten takeout in front of him, eyes tired but alert. Yo, what up, son? Black said, closing the door behind him. Yeah, what up? Bags replied, quietly. They dapped up and sat. They dapped up, then sat. Talk to me, Black said. The hell happened last night? Bags exhaled hard, rubbing his temples. Yo, we was chilling at that McDonald's on Fulton. I went inside, get some grub, and the next thing I know, shots everywhere. Bro, I look out, niggas in masks with max silencers, lit the whole car up, bro. Then they shooting from another car. Yo, Diamond ain't even have a chance, bro. Black stared at the floor, jaw tight. You recognize anybody? Nah, but I remember something. Something Bourne said, a name. Bigger, yeah, bigger. That's the only thing I caught. The name hung in the air like smoke. Bigger. It stirred something in Black's memory. Whispers from older hustlers, stories about a Harlem heavyweight who was trying to go legit but still had the streets on payroll. Jerome Bigger, an old Harlem legend turned businessman known for ruthless precision. Yeah, Black muttered. I think I know that name. He leaned back in his chair, eyes narrowing. Yo, we got to talk to Bourne. He the one who bought y'all that job. In the basement of an old church in Harlem, Bourne sat slumped in a wooden chair, face swollen and bleeding, his wrists were tied, his breath shallow. The air smelled like mildew and copper. Across from him stood Cal, Bigger's right-hand man, holding a blood-stained towel. Where's my money, Bourne? Cal asked, voice calm but deadly. Bourne coughed, blood spot in his chin. I don't know. Diamond got it. Cal nodded to one of his goons, who landed another hard punch to Bourne's ribs. Bourne gasped, choking back a scream. At the far end of the room, Bigger sat in a chair, dressed sharp, even here. Silk shirt, gold chain glinting under a flickering light. I ain't got time for stories, Bigger said coolly. We already took care of Diamond. Bag should have been with him. What about this third cat? Cal looked over. They was going to see a dude named Black, Bourne said. That's where they was headed. Bigger's eyes narrowed. Black? Bourne coughed again, spitting blood. He ain't have nothing to do with the hit. Big, I swear. Diamond just said they were dropping him some bread before he left town. Bigger looked at Cal, smirked slightly. They gave my money to him? Cal shrugged. That's what it sounds like. Bigger stood, fixing his cuffs, voice cold. Then he took it. And if he took it, nigga gotta go. Cal nodded, motioning for the goons to finish with Bourne. The room echoed with dull thuds and low groans as Bigger walked out, lighting a cigar before stepping into daylight. Back in Brooklyn at the condo, Ebony woke up alone. She stretched, half asleep, reaching for the warmth beside her, but it was gone. She got up, padded into the kitchen, and found a note on the counter in Black's clean handwriting. Went out early. Gotta handle something real quick. Be back later. I love you. She smiled softly, pressing the note to her chest, pouring a glass of juice. She grabbed her phone and dialed Pretty. What's up, girl? Pretty's voice came through the speaker. Black dipped early. I'm bored. You down for brunch? Girl, you know I'm down. Let's hit Peaches or something. Okay, say less. Give me about an hour. Ebony hung up and headed for the shower, humming to herself. The move to Atlanta was coming fast. Life felt like it was finally turning the corner. At the stash spot in Queens, Black and Bags were still trying to piece it all together. Bourne the only one who could connect y'all Bigger, Black said. We find him, we find answers. Bags nodded, fidgeting. He hadn't slept since the shooting. The two ordered Uber Eats, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwiches, and iced coffees, the kind of normal act that made the chaos feel distant for a moment. As they ate, Black's phone rang. It was Ebony. Hey, babe, he said, voice softening. Hey, you. You good? Yeah, everything's straight. I might be home a little late, though. Still out handling some business. Oh, okay, she said. I'll see you tonight, then. I'm about to go have some brunch with Pretty. Love you. Okay, love you, too. He ended the call. But another call came through immediately. Fat Mo. Yo, Mo, what's good, bro? Yo, Black, man, listen, I was on the block this morning. Yo, some fan pulled up, bro. Yo, they threw Born out the door, bro. Yo, bro, I'm talking beat bad. I ain't even recognize him at first. Sounds filled the line. He alive? Black asked. Barely. If so. Black exhaled slowly, the weight in his chest growing heavier. All right, yo, good looking out, Mo. I'm gonna get back up with you. He hung up, looked at Bags. Yo, They found Bourne beat damn near to death, bro. Biggest people, no doubt. Bag's face went pale. So what we doing? Yo, you get low, Black said. Hit that Airbnb in Jersey or something. Stay off the radar till I call you. Bags hesitated. Yo, you sure? Yeah, ain't no maybe about it. Bags finished his sandwich, nodded, and headed out the door. Black watched him go. The street outside quiet under the daylight. He didn't know it yet, but the storm had already started moving toward them, and there was no outrunning it now. Chapter 8. The brunch crowd at Peaches spilled out onto the Williamsburg sidewalk. Laughter, clinking glasses, and the faint haze of hookah smoke drifting through the fall air. Ebony pulled up in her white Benz CLA 250, stepped out smooth, her hair laid and her nails catching sunlight. Inside, she spotted Pretty, already seated on the patio, sipping a mimosa with a grin. Look who finally showed up, Pretty teased. I see you started the party without me, Ebony shot back playfully, sliding into the chair across from her. Pretty laughed and waved the waiter over. I ordered you one already, boo. The waiter set a fresh mimosa in front of Ebony. She took a sip, smiling. You know me too well. They ordered their go-to, shrimp and grits, the signature dish, and leaned into the easy rhythm of their friendship. So we really moving to Atlanta, huh? Pretty asked, swirling her straw. Yeah, Black already handling everything. House, cafe, even got Tasia a spot for her salon. Pretty grinned. See, that's what I'm talking about. That man love you for real, girl. Like, y'all are real life relationship goals. Ebony chuckled. We had our bumps, but he's solid. Always been. Pretty leaned back, confidence in her eyes. Well, shoot, I'm gonna find me my own Atlanta love story. My future husband out there somewhere in a Hellcat with good credit. Both women laughed loud, loud enough to turn a few heads. They toasted their mimosas, savoring the moment. Good food, good weather, and the feeling that everything in their lives was finally falling into place. A few miles away, Black was walking through the Ingersoll houses, hoodie up, hands in his pockets. The smell of oil, laundry detergent, and concrete filled the air. He passed an old Chevy with the hood up and spotted old man Wally bent over the engine, grease on his hands and a cigarette hanging from his lips. Wally was a grizzled old Vietnam War vet, known around the projects for his wild stories and stubborn charm. He often told anyone who listened that he'd been captured by the Vietnamese during a mission but escaped on his own, fighting his way back to safety. Some believed him, others said it was just one of his tall tales, but either way, Wally had the kind of edge that made you think twice before doubting him. What's up, nephew? Wally called, his gravelly voice carrying across the lot. Yo, what's good, Unc? Black replied, dapping him up. Wally gave him a knowing look. Yeah, I heard about Diamond. Sorry to hear it, man. I know that's a hard one. Pause. Black laughed. Jaw tightening. Yeah, street's been cold lately. Wally leaned on the car, wiping his hands. Listen, nephew, I know what that look mean. Don't go doing something dumb. Take that fine lady of yours and that family and get gone. Atlanta sound like a clean slate. You deserve that, nephew. Black smiled slightly. Yo, it's all good, Unc. We leaving soon. Wally grinned. How Jackie doing? Tell her I said hey. She always been fine as frogs here. That made Black laugh for the first time all day. She good. I'm on my way to see her now. Tell her Wally said don't play too hard to get. Wally said, laughing. I got you. He walked past a few buildings and spotted Mecca in front of the courtyard, chatting with her teenage friends. What up, little sis? He called. Mecca turned, face lighting up. Hey, brother. Mommy upstairs? Yeah. Black nodded and headed inside. When he knocked, Jackie opened the door, surprise and warm feel on her face. Well, look who it is, she said, smiling. Had to come check on my favorite ladies, Black said, stepping in. The apartment was spotless, the smell of pine sol and fried chicken flowing through the air. Jackie always kept it neat, no matter what demon she battled. They sat at the kitchen table catching up. I just want to thank you, baby, Jackie said softly, for everything. Letting me and Mecca come down to Atlanta with y'all. I've been praying for a new start. I ain't all the way perfect, but I've been clean 3 years now. Mostly. Black smile. You ain't got to thank me, Mom. We family. Always looked out for y'all. That's what Frank would have wanted. Jackie's eyes got glossy at the mention of her late man. He'd be proud of you. You know, you turned into a real one. Just doing what feel right, Black said. She got up and opened a foil pan on the counter. You hungry? I just fried some chicken. You know I ain't saying no to that. They laughed and ate together like family, real family. For a little while, it felt like peace. After about an hour, Black stood, kissed Jackie on the cheek, and said his goodbyes. Got some business to handle, Ma. I'll check in later. Be careful, baby, she said, watching him go. Over in Flatbush, Shatasia was in her element, the salon humming with R&B and the low chatter of clients. She glanced at the clock, waiting for a new client who booked her through Instagram DMs. A few minutes later, the door opened. The woman who walked in turned heads, light-skinned, tall, curvy, designer from head to toe, a silk bonnet over her braids, and a $20,000 Birkin dangling from her wrist. Hey, girl, Shatasia greeted. You must be Jasmine. Yep, that's me, the woman said, smiling. All right, have a seat right here, baby. The woman slid into the chair, pulling off her bonnet to reveal Meek Mill-style braids going to the back of her head, already neat and tight. Oh, good, you came prepped, Shataya said. That saves me some time. Girl, I don't play about my hair, Jasmine said. My man like me looking right at all times. They both laughed as Shataya started the weaving stall, hands moving smooth in practice. Jasmine talked most of the time about her boyfriend, her trips, her jewelry. He spoiled me rotten, Jasmine said. Said I ain't never got to work again. Shataya smiled politely, half listening, half daydreaming about her own upcoming move, her salon in Atlanta, her new start, her peace. By the time she finished, Jasmine's hair looked flawless, bouncy curls that framed her face perfectly. Oh, girl, this is it, Jasmine squealed, checking herself in the mirror. You did your thing. She reached into her purse, paid Shataya $350 for the weaving store, then pulled out a crisp $100 bill and slid it to her. Keep that, boo. You a blessing. Shataya smiled wide. Thank you, baby. Come back anytime. Jasmine gave a wave and strutted out, leaving behind the faint scent of perfume and money. Shataya leaned back in her chair, smiling at herself. Atlanta, here I come, she whispered. Chapter 9. The late afternoon sun hit the cracked Brooklyn pavement, bouncing gold off the windshield of a 2024 Honda Accord, the kind of car that didn't draw eyes. That's exactly why Black bought it. He sat behind the wheel, engine running, quiet buzz, under the sound of city traffic. A bottle of Moet Rosé rested in the passenger seat. He popped it open and stared at the bubbles fizzling out the bottle. To you, Lord, he muttered under his breath. Diamond always kept a bottle of that same champagne when things were good, after a win, after a lit, or just when the crew made it out of something heavy. It was his way of celebrating life while he still had it. Black wasn't much of a drinker, but today was different. He took a quick gulp, grimaced at the burn, then he stepped out of the car and poured the rest onto the curb. The pink liquid darkened in the asphalt. Sleep easy, Lord, he said softly. For a moment, he just stood there, city noise fading into the background. Then he got back into the Honda Accord and drove off, focused, face cold as concrete. He spent the next couple of hours running errands, tying up loose ends before the move, picking up money that was owed, dropping off envelopes, making sure every street debt was clear before Atlanta called his name. But something felt off. Somewhere between Brownsville and Bed-Stuy, his instinct started screaming. He checked his rearview mirror. A black Audi sat 3 cars back. At first, he didn't think much of it. But every turn he made, that Audi made too. Every lane change, every red light. He drove another 10 minutes, making random detours through side streets and looping around blocks. The Audi stayed there, steady, deliberate. He knew what that meant. Black grabbed his phone and called Bags. The line picked up quick. Yo, where you at? Black asked, voice flat. On my way to Jersey was good. Black took a slow breath, eyes flicking between the mirror and the road. Yo, I'm being tailed. Some Audi been on me since Brownsville. Bag's tone changed instantly. You sure? Positive. There was silence for a beat. Then Bags asked, Yo, what you want to do? Black didn't answer right away. He watched the car in the mirror, his knuckles tightening around the wheel. Yo, if this goes bad, bro, he said quietly, just tell Ebony I love her. Before Bags could respond, the call ended. Black started weaving through traffic, trying to shake the tail. He cut through Flatbush, then headed toward Atlantic Avenue. The Audi stayed glued to him like a shadow. He thought about heading home to the downtown condo, to Ebony, probably cooking or watching one of her cafe shows, but he couldn't. He wasn't bringing danger to the door. The chase turned into a cat and mouse game through Brooklyn's tight streets, speeding, stopping short, doubling back, every move calculated. The Audi never fell off. Finally, Black's patience snapped. He spotted an opening on a quiet side block off Dean Street and made his move. He slammed on the brakes, swerved to the curb, and jumped out, effing pistol in his hand, his heart calm but sharp. He stalked towards the Audi, gun low, steps quick and precise. The driver's side window was tinted dark. Yeah, come on out, he muttered under his breath. But before he reached the car, he caught movement. Too late. A second black Audi rolled up slow from behind. Two men in hoodies and masks stepped out, weapons drawn. The first bursts of gunfire echoed like fireworks, suppressed but deadly. Bullets tore through the air, hitting Black before he could even pivot. His gun clattered to the street as his knees buckled. The shooters kept firing until the clip clicked empty. Then both Audis sped off into the distance, disappearing before anyone could react. Black was on the ground, blood soaking through his shirt, pooling around him. His breath got shallow, vision dimming. In those final seconds, he thought about Ebony, her smile, her laugh, the way she always smelled like vanilla and peace. I disappointed her. That was his last thought before everything went quiet. Chapter 10. Ebony stumbled through the door of the condo, tipsy from the endless mimosas and laughter she had shared with Pretty at Peaches. The afternoon had been bright, carefree, a little too bright. She kicked off her heels, swaying slightly, and called out for Black. The apartment was quiet. He probably just out still running errands, she mumbled to herself, brushing her hair from her face. She didn't think much of it. Black was usually meticulous, always handling something important. Her phone buzzed. It was Shatasia. Ebony answered, smiling, her speech slightly slurred. Hey, girl. You know brunch was everything. You should have came. They laughed, exchanged small talk, catching up on gossip and Atlanta plans. Then another call came in, this one from an unknown number. Ebony frowned, pressing accept before telling Shatasia she'd call her back. The voice on the other line was soft and warm, but businesslike. Is this Ebony? Yes, Ebony replied cautiously. Do you know a Tahine Black? The woman asked. Yes. Ebony's tone grew uncertain. The woman explained they had tracked her down because of a dry cleaning ticket found in Black's car. Her name and number were on it. After confirming their identities and relationship, the voice said something that felt like a punch to the chest. You need to come identify his body. I'm sorry. The trip to Brookdale Hospital was a blur. The streets moved past her like a distorted movie, honking horns, flashing lights, faces she couldn't recognize. And then she saw him. Black, her strong black king, lying motionless on the metal slab. His chest didn't rise. His hands, usually warm and protective, were cold. His eyes, the eyes that held her soul in quiet moments, stared blankly into eternity. Her stomach dropped. Her knees gave out. The world shifted, the floor tilted, then she blacked out. When Ebony came to, she was in a hospital bed, dressed in a thin gown that did nothing to make her feel safe. The room was quiet, except for the soft beeping of monitors. Sitting beside her were her mother, Jackie, and Mecca. A doctor stood nearby, face calm, but eyes grave. Hysteria overtook her. Black! Black! She said, screaming, writhing, trying to get out of the bed. Jackie and the doctor held her down gently but firmly. Ebony, listen to me, the doctor said softly. He's gone. The words hit her like a tidal wave. The detective standing behind the doctor confirmed it, telling her the story, the tail end Audi, the ambush, the bullets. Her mind spun faster than she could breathe. Then came another, even harsher truth. Ebony, the doctor said carefully, when you passed out, we noticed your blood pressure dropping dangerously, and upon further examination, I'm sorry to tell you, you've miscarried. You're about 3.5 weeks pregnant. The world went black. No, no, that's not possible. Ebony screamed, thrashing against the arms holding her. The doctor, seeing the severity of her stress and trauma, administered a calming injection. The room tilted, her vision blurred, and everything faded. The last thing she felt before slipping back into darkness was emptiness, so deep it swallowed her whole. The death of the man she loved, and the life inside her that would never be. And then, nothing.